Welcome back to Living Local. The Earth's natural resources include air, water, soil, minerals, plants, and animals. Conservation is the practice of caring for these resources so all living things can benefit from them now and in the future. The Nahant Marsh Education Center is kicking off a first ever event to recognize local leaders in conservation efforts. Joining me in studio is Brian Ritter with the Nahant Marsh. Thanks so much for being here, Brian.
Great to be here.
So first of all, this is called the Oberholtzer Awards. So what sparked this idea?
Well, we've been talking, several of my employees and board members for years, that there's been a lot of incredible people who have done amazing stuff for conservation from our area, and they kind of go unnoticed. So we decided to put this awards together to really promote and recognize those people who have done so much to protect our natural resources.
Very, very important to do that and to recognize them. So who is the event named after?
It's a great question. Oberholtzer is kind of the most famous person from the Quad Cities that nobody knows about. Ernest Oberholtzer was born in Davenport. He, as a young man, he was 17, he came down with rheumatic fever. Doctors gave him a year to live, and he didn't accept that. They said, you know, lay down, you're gonna die in a year. He said no. He went to Harvard, got a degree, ended up traveling like 3,000 miles, did a 3,000-mile canoe journey through the North Woods, the Boundary Waters, and all the way to Hudson Bay with Ojibwe Indian guide. And on the way, and keep in mind, this is 1912, so really rough terrain, brought a camera, and a gigantic camera with him, and documented nature and life in that area. But most importantly, what he did was he started the Wilderness Society and protected this vast wilderness area in northern Minnesota and southern Canada known as Superior, Quetico, and the Boundary Waters. So lived his life up there. When he passed away, he was buried here in Davenport, so he's at Oakdale Cemetery.
Well, I think you guys picked the ideal person to name this first ever award ceremony after, for sure. And as we talk a little bit more about the event, obviously one of the purposes is to recognize people that are making efforts like Oberholtzer did. What are some other reasons you're doing this?
Well, you know, Iowa and Illinois are kind of on the front lines of conservation in terms of the amount of stuff we've lost. And really the purpose is to bring awareness to the value of conservation and the value of protecting natural areas. We all need clean water, clean air. We all do better when we have natural areas around us. It makes it a more attractive place to live. And so really the purpose is to bring attention to conservation.
And you guys are accepting nominations until tomorrow. So
are.
What makes a good candidate for this award?
Well, so we're recognizing past, present, and future leaders. And so past person would be somebody that worked a long time ago, like Oberholtzer. Present would be somebody that's kind of like towards the end of their career, but have spent their life working and protecting, whether it's our parks or enhancing our knowledge of it. So it could be a college professor, it could be a volunteer. And then a future person is a college student or somebody that's going to be going to college soon. We're going to give them a $2,000 scholarship to further their career and try to promote them to go to conservation.
That's great, Brian. Why do you think conservation is important for all of us? For many people, it's not even something that they think about, but it really affects everyone.
It does. Well, I mean, for one, it's a quality of life thing. And repeatedly, survey after survey, when you ask what makes a community livable, it's not just jobs and entertainment, but it's having natural areas to spend time in and explore and relax in and things like that. But it's also the fact that we need clean water, we need clean air. Nature does this for free. And so, you know, that's one of the real values of conservation. You
know, Brian, I never actually realized or appreciated the resources around here until I spent 6 years in the desert of West Texas, in Lubbock, Texas, where it's very flat, it's very dry. We would go through drought seasons, which was a new thing to me. We definitely don't experience that really here in the Midwest very much. And then also the green, the trees, the bodies of water. I remember when I moved back to Iowa, I was overwhelmed by how beautiful it is here. And you don't really appreciate it until it's taken away from you.
Yeah, and it's incredible. Even driving here this morning along the Mississippi, just dozens and dozens of eagles. you don't see that anywhere else in the world. I mean, we've got some tremendous resources, and it's important that we protect them for ourselves and for other things.
I could not agree more. If someone wants to go and attend the event, what's the night going to look like? What can they expect?
Well, and actually, what's unique about it, it's a morning event. We're at 9:30 to noon at Modern Woodman Park. It's going to be inside, but we'll have a breakfast brunch buffet. We're going to have a keynote speaker, a woman named Charity Nebby, who's with Iowa Public Radio and Iowa Public Television, is going to be there talking. We'll give the awards, and then we also have some fun little auction items too. It's a little bit of a fundraiser for Nahant as well.
Sounds like a fun event. How can people get tickets?
Nahantmarsh.org, or you can call down to the Marsh, and we'd be happy to give you some tickets.
Sounds great. Brian, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. For more information on Nahant Marsh, you can head over to its website at nahantmarsh.org. We'll have these details posted on ourquadcities.com. Stay with us. More Living Local is just ahead.